Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Oarba, and I'm going to be playing with the second Pancelos and the balanced deployment type. The game is already underway. Let's have a quick look at what we're getting down. We've got an MG42 to lead the charge here. We've got a couple of mod Loves with the mod Loves with the 44M, the 44M meaning that it has the bazooka. Then we have the Lovash Verteridok. There's another mod Loves here. We've got a couple of these 75mm AT guns, and on the left hand side I have an assortment of armour, a couple of Toldi 2s, a couple of Turan 2s, we've got the Nimrods in there, and a couple of these Panzer 3Ms. These Panzer 3Ms you can get at 2 vet base, which is really nice. You get 2 of them, put them with the leader early on, really strong combination. You see the Focke-Wulf 189 here finding a quick kill early on to the AT gun that I saw was dropped off, so that was nice. And the T-34-85 lacking the optics to spot my transports coming around the road here, so I was pretty lucky to get away with that prime location for a transport snipe. I definitely should have deployed more on this road. This middle area is absolute bait for transports, and you've got to be really careful that when you bring units in that they do actually come in on this left hand side. Speaking of transports getting sniped, well, I do unfortunately lose one to Rad Racer's 6-pounder here. Fortunately I have a lot of firepower in this position. 75mm has unloaded. The Turan 2s do have 2 HE on their main gun, plus the MG34. You make very short work of that 6-pounder. I did bring in another Focke-Wulf 189 to try and bomb that at the same time. We are going to be spotting the 6-pounder further back, and again all of these shots coming in. Going to be trying to finish that off and do so nice and easy. So yeah, this game I wanted to show off because it's a great look at all of the different units that Pancelos really has to offer, as well as the Ace. The Ace unit did particularly well in this unit. It was pretty lucky, to be honest. So we'll be seeing that later on. Our good old TARCZAY. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that somewhat correct. So the Panzer 3 is still going to work here with the Turan 2s. Again, that beautiful HE value on the main gun. Really fantastic for supporting against enemy infantry, plus the fact they have 2 machine guns. These 75mm, similar 2.2 HE there. So a decent HE fire support at range, and that sniper really not taking long to go down. The air landing getting taken care of there. My Focke-Wulf 189 is being hit a little bit by the AA, but we're able to see that there's not too much heading to my way just yet. But the 29th Tank Corps should put up a decent fight against the Pancelos. So here we go. TARCZAY is on the way in his Panther. Kind of like the paint job on it, to be honest. Looks pretty cool. I brought it in early on because we saw the commander tank, which is hiding on this ridge somewhere. And we also saw the T-34. Now the Panther has a distinctive advantage against T-34-76s. It will be a little bit vulnerable at close range versus T-34-85, so we'll have to be careful of that. But overall, yeah, the idea was that I would take advantage of Vasiliev's closer range medium tanks early on in this engagement. Now the Panzer 3s, they can do pretty well, and they do have the 3-star veterancy. So we're going to be looking to try and trade a kill here. Preferably not trade at all, just kill it. Bounces here, not being kind. 90mm of frontal armour, making it a little bit difficult for me, but we do manage to find the kill. And I'm going to be getting back out of the open. This area is such a death trap on this map, because you've got this like cover that goes all the way around here, and it blocks line of sight, so you can never quite see if there's an AT gun in position like there is here with this IS-2 that just took out the Panzer 3. Like, that could have easily been my Panzer 3s had I continued to move forwards. There's just like so much cover, you can just hide a random AT gun in. So TARCZAY going to be hitting the motorozvedka as they head across the open, because I did manage to get a Lovash Verteritok in here. This is actually really important because it gives me recon over the open and allows us to see these kinds of movements. I've also now brought up a Panzer IV to join him. That is now 2 vet because my Panzer IVs were 1 vet in the deck. So here you can see the 2 types of Modeloves you get. You got the Modeloves with the MG42s, and then we also have the Modeloves with the Solothurn, but they get the bazooka, this rocket heat shell. Pretty cool. It's a unique Hungarian bazooka. That's interesting to see in game. We've got Grim Guy's twin of TARCZAY on the left hand side. Does manage to take out the ZIS-2 there. And my one's going to be taking out the M3A1 Rozvedka. Nice little kill there. So currently just getting a bunch of infantry ready so that I can push through with my armor. Like, we've got some really good support. You see, as soon as anything gets spotted, we're going to put it under a lot of fire. But yeah, just building up. Trying to get my Mortaka Sok to move up here. Clean out the heavy cover. The Modeloves can kind of cover me as I move up the infantry. And then once the infantry are in a decent position and we know that there's not so many AT guns left, I can be a bit more confident with my tanks. Because relying on this many tanks can be a bit precarious. Yep, there we go. TARCZAY going to be attacked by the ZIS-2 on the right hand side. Wolf 189 brought in to try and deal with that. Bringing it purposefully to the middle of the map to avoid as much AA as possible, because I know that there's no AA obviously on my side of the map. The AA is here for Vasiliev. I don't know what's on the right side for Jake, so going from the mid is my best bet. It might allow me to get on target there. M2A1 does get taken out. Bomber coming in for the ZIS-2 is going to get the job done. And we also managed to take out the recon, which was very nice. So we're holding on to this flag at the moment, which is an offensive flag. And this flag on the left hand side, that was really good. We're now looking to secure this flag. The Modeloves moving up. Still relying primarily on infantry to do the job here. My AT gun also now going to be moving up to help with the T-34-85. A little bit of off map coming in to hit my infantry. The 29th does get a limited amount of infantry. I was a little bit concerned about engaging this long term with the Modeloves. So what you can see I'm doing here is kind of just falling back slightly and then moving back forwards to get another little bit of a burst off with the MG42 and then fall back again. But yeah, the off map's going to do its job. It's like a barrage from an off map. It's going to pin down that squad and force it back for the time being. Yeah, you can see I'm still building up here. Panzer IVs joining me. Like 3 Panzer IVs on the way to join the already Panzer IIIs that I have, the Turan 2s. We're getting more infantry. Building up a big push so I can break through past this tree line. That is a real natural barrier. Obviously my infantry got up quite far already, but the Mortakasok did die. On the right hand side, Jake's doing a decent job of putting pressure onto Spicy Rub. So that is somewhat keeping them in the game, but we can see now the off map that was harassing me, the 76.2 mil. My MG is getting on target here, the MG34, and he's not going to be able to move it in time, so that does go down. So not crazy off map, that's why I wasn't really doing too much damage to the Modeloves as they sat in that position. But here we go, Modeloves now making a play for the next flag. We can still see the T-34-85 here. Due to the Lovash Verteritok. I've got both of these on return fire so they don't reveal their positions. MG34 is going to be able to get line of sight onto the 37mm AA. That might open up the ability for me to use the Focke-Wulf 189s, and you can see I have now purchased a Ju-88 to engage the T-34-85 combat. Now these things fly really low, as you can see, but they drop all their clusters in a line. And whilst that is okay for dealing with large groups of tanks, when it comes to a single tank, if those lines land like either side of the tank you're trying to kill, like it did there, then the tank doesn't go down. So he gets away with his combat being alive for the time being. A big bomb coming in here from the Boston. 1,000 kilogram bomb smacks a couple of my infantry. I do also lose my Ju-88 on the right hand side to some of the AA of Jake. A little bit unfortunate, but they had reinforced themselves quite nicely with AA so far. Another Boston going to be coming in, followed by a third. Panzer III on the right, going to be looking for a shot into the T-34-85. Unfortunately, Panzer III losing out there. I'm doing a lot of damage to the A-20s. I've got a Nimrod. Our Grim guys brought up a Nimrod. Those should really start packing a punch, especially since this Nimrod is 2 vet. So this sort of combination of like Panzer IVs, Nimrods, with plenty of leadership is going to be something you'll see throughout. But here we see TARCZAY getting the kill onto the commander that was damaged. We did take a penetration, but TARCZAY not so lucky this time around, but just you wait. Modloves making some good ground. A lot of investment by Vasiliev into the bombers so far, which has enabled me to push very aggressively. Look how fast I'm moving up my armor now. Like, since he brought in those 3 bombers, I'm like, you know what? Time to go. So all my Turans, my Panzer IVs are now rushing forwards. I've still got to be a little bit careful of getting too close to this tree line, because that Saperdi Komnoti does have a Panzerfaust. And well, would you look at that? It's an IS-2. That's not great. So IS-2 takes out one of my Panzer IVs, but they have a very long reload time. So what I'm going to be doing, splitting the Panzer IVs, and I'm going to be trying to rush it down. Vasiliev knows better than to sit there and wait until I shoot him in the side armor, so he is going to back off down the side of the hill, but it's going to be very difficult for him to come up the hill if I spread out those Panzer IVs, because they will have penetration chance in the side armor. And with that, I'm able to get onto the back of this reinforcement road. Unfortunately, I do get hit by the 6-pounder of Rad Racer, which is going to crew panic my Panzer IV. Thankfully, the Turan's getting plenty of damage in at close range. Now 17-pounder Rad Racer further back, going to stop me from coming close to the edge of the hill here. And we've got another 17-pounder on the left that we're also trying to get rid of. So my Panzer IV firing at that. Turan 2's more than close enough to help finish it off, so we'll get that one killed off nice and easy. But now a T-34 85 1944 coming up takes out my Turan. Yeah, this is not a good engagement for any of these tanks, so it's a little unfortunate. I did manage to get 1 penetration there with the Turan 2 somehow. It must have been a very, very low chance. The Panzer III now taken out. Vasiliev probably could have committed maybe to the engagements with the Turan at range, but it's kind of a good thing for me that he didn't, because I'm able to now move the Turan 2s round to flank Rad Racer, so Grim Guy can push up his infantry here. Modloves pinned down on the edge by the IS-2. Going to be bringing in the Ju-88s with the 2 500 kilogram bombs and the 10 50 kilogram bombs to try and bomb this out. It's kind of difficult for me to kill the IS-2s. That's why I'm committing so much air force to it. My ace unit here, TARCZAY. Pretty lucky not to get hit by the 17 pounder. Well, I say that, I mean they don't really have too much in the way of veterancy there, so the accuracy is not going to be fantastic. But Ju-88 coming in for that bombing strike, unfortunately going to get shot down. I get a good amount of damage on there, but the second one, another LA5 getting the kill. Trouble is, that's 2 more aircraft he's invested in. Obviously I invested in my bombers and they didn't really work out. But I've already got a nice ground advantage, so I'm not too concerned. But Tempest's going to be coming in and strafing the Turan, which is going to make that fall back. And unfortunately, Jake on the right, he is going to surrender. I'm not entirely sure why he surrendered. I think maybe the King Tiger of Spicy was starting to tear up his armor out in the open. But I don't think it was a drop. It could have been a drop from the game. Actually, now I think about it, because it doesn't show disconnects during replays, I don't think. But yeah, A20 finally going down. The Nimrod, one of the best armoured AA in the game. It's such a strong unit. Like the 40mm Hungarian AA is really, really scary. And now a really, really good position for my Panzer IV. 2-star veterancy. Going to be taking out his ace, Reshetnikov. And now engaging the second T-34-85 that is completely blind here because there's no recon. I'm sitting in the light cover and we're able to take out that. So 1 Panzer IV taking out 2 T-34-85s. Really, really good trades for me. Now TARCZAY trying his luck against an IS-2. I was trying to hope that Vasiliev would give me a chance to poke a side shot in here, but he had recon on this side at least, so he was able to see me every time I was poking forwards with that Panther. I also have the Pak 40 on the way now. It's going to be towed here, forced to unload that. But that is my chance, because what it's going to do is force the IS-2 to face in a certain direction. The other thing is now he's given it a reverse order. And a reverse order is going to allow me to get a shot on target there. And I'm going to commit to the second shot. And we managed to find it. Nicely done. The 17 pounder missed its shot. The IS-2 missed its shot. So TARCZAY having his lucky day and finding an IS-2 kill because of it. So beautiful stuff. Now I will say, just to confirm, that ace units don't actually have anything better than a normal unit, generally speaking, unless they are like an individual unit in a deck. Like in this case, TARCZAY, he's like comes in on his own, I think. So like, because there's only one of them, he maybe gets like a little bit extra veterancy than he'd probably get if you had like a normal one, but generally speaking, ace units are just exactly the same as normal units. They just have a special name and they glow yellow, or they have like a yellow icon. That's literally it. Anyway, now Panzer IV helping against the Stroki DP that are trying to push up against us. I've got triple Panther on the way. The Panther squad is inbound. Are going to be having a go at the IS-2. Now, the beauty of Panthers against an IS-2 1943 with 160 mils of frontal armor is they can penetrate it rather reliably, especially when they are like this close. So, able to take out the IS-2 1943. An IS-2 1944, that would be a bit of a different story. Mosquito there coming in, crashing out. Tempest having a bit of a hard time, definitely took a lot of damage. But just check out the Panthers going to work. I really like the paint job on the Hungarian Panthers. They look really, really cool. And again, just the combination of this strong armor, the Panthers, plus a really good AA, makes it really, really difficult to deal with. In this case, I'm being hit by APCR on the left side there. That'll be like a 6-pounder firing at me as I'm trying to reverse. There's also a 17-pounder further back there that I'm being fired at by. You can see the Focke-Wulf 189 coming in there to target that. last shot does come through and finds one of my Panthers. But yeah, still got 2 more, and these, they have broken line of sight to those AT guns on the left. Oh, so it was actually, in fact, not the 17 pounder, it was the captured Pack 40 that the airborne get. Bombing strike, easy peasy. Unfortunately, Vasilyev's LA5 comes back around and finds another kill. So those fighters managing to get away with quite a lot. I hadn't invested really into enough Nimrods, I would say, at this point, so I decided to bring up a third. And I've also got a couple of Tigers. So yeah, you can get both Panthers and Tigers in the second Pancelos. A very, very nice division indeed. Especially considering their motorized infantry isn't that sort of bad. Particularly like since like the Motyloves come with MG42s, and then these Motyloves, which don't have a fantastic MG, but they do have like the bazooka, which does have the 250 meter range, so it is scary for these tanks, and that's exactly why I'm just sitting on the edge of the ridge here, allowing these to be shot at. It's mainly because I don't want his tanks to be coming up here and flanking my Panthers should I commit to an engagement with the T-34-85 or the IS-2. At this range though, it's a little bit risky for me to engage the IS-2, so I am just kind of chilling behind the buildings here. And that's why I'm just waiting. I'm bringing up the extra Tigers. We got the extra Nimrods in position, just solidifying the position on the map. Good old Oarba. Oarba is actually a really nice map. I have been enjoying it a lot. This island is really fun to fight over, and I will have a video at some point where I do show myself fighting over that island. But for now, just some interesting armour engagements. 2 IS-2 1943s here with the T-34-85 against the 2 Panthers. I can potentially like try and sneak through here and get shots in. Yeah, just waiting for the Tigers to get further up, get the infantry into position so that they can almost act as recon. All the while, yeah, these guys unfortunately did get pinned down, but the T-34-85 crests the hill, and wabam, there's a Panzer IV covering quite nicely. No chance. Couldn't get its gun down to really do any damage. We're going to be able to hold on to that flag. A little bit of a desperate move, I fear. Unfortunately, they really don't have much time. Like, there is 3 minutes left on the clock, so that is forcing Vasilyev to move forwards. And the 3 IS-2 1943s is definitely a scary sight. You can see I'm starting to edge my Panther forwards a little bit there. Get the Toldy close enough as well. The beauty here is I'm going to be able to get within the command radius from Grim Guy. And a really, really nice Ju-88 there from Grim allows me to start getting the shots on target. So that's 1 down as we get a sweet, sweet side shot. Find the second. 2 IS-2s down. 17 pounder is going to be able to fire back. And that's going to be all she wrote for Vasilyev. Really, really nasty strike. Grim Guy didn't need to get any kills there because my Panthers were lined up, ready to go. I've now also brought in the 149mm artillery, and that's going to be able to blast the 17 pounder here, or at least pin it down so that I can engage any other armour that's in position. So Vasilyev's AI takes over, T-34 going to be taken out. Typhoon's now coming in to try and get some of these tank kills, but we have a lot of Nimrods online. Tempest coming in with a bombing strike as well, is successful in dropping the bombs. Yeah, all of these aircraft really taking a ton of damage. Tempest gets shot down. The other 2 only just surviving because they are so fast. The Tempest and the Typhoons, some of the best like fighter bombers in the game, so able to get away with it this time. But yeah, Nimrods would just tear other things out of the sky, particularly when they have high veterancy. Keeping them at high veterancy like this, really, really useful. It's 1 minute left, and yeah, all I can say is that I feel like this game really showed off the combination of units that the second Pancelos can get together. The Nimrods, the Panzer IVs, the Panthers, the Tigers, all of this like infantry. You got decent support weapons with the MG34s and the 75mm AT guns. Like overall, I would say this is probably the strongest Axis division that was added in the Blood Feud and Transylvania DLC. 75mm. Currently just pumping HE into the infantry that's coming across the open, mainly because it's out of range of the T-34-85 that's attacking me. My Cromwell, oh sorry, Tiger did take out a Cromwell on the left hand side. Just trying to keep the pressure on Red Racer now since he is the last player standing. My Tiger in a little bit of a bad spot. 17 pounder. Gonna be taking that out. Not sure quite where this Tiger was going. Must have accidentally given it an order back over here when I was selecting my artillery. Yeah, artillery really starting to mount up. It's something that a lot of the divisions in this DLC actually got a lot of, is decent artillery. There's a lot less off map, that's for sure. TARCZAY looking for shots here, finds another one. After going down, Typhoon coming in for the strike will get ripped out of the sky. And finally, the T-34-85 there goes down. And that's it. That's victory, 14-10. The thing is with these smaller maps, this is actually like supposed to be a 2v2 map, so playing it 3v3 is a bit of a stretch. It does sometimes cause the games to go a little bit quicker, particularly because you can get the double tick with like 15-9, as opposed to some of the bigger like 4v4 maps, for example, that take a little bit more, like 16-10 or well, I think 16-10 is generally the bigger one, but if you think about like Tannenberg, the flags are so far back, they're actually really hard to cap. But yeah, 3,225 kills, 1,440 losses. Doesn't really matter too much. That wasn't really the objective of this replay. It's just fun to show off all of the different combination of units. Like having the 4.489s early on for recon, really, really nice. This one picked up a couple of ZIS-2 AT gun kills for me. The 75mm AT guns, which are really good with HE as well, taking out another 6-pounder there. The 2-2s, really good early game fire support, and I'm bringing them at 2 vet. The Panzer IIIs that automatically come in at 2 vet as well. Just really strong early game light and medium armor. And then you've also got the Panthers. So TARCZAY coming in there, getting the T-34-85 Commander and the IS-2 in the end, getting pretty lucky not to die. And then the Nimrods getting plenty of air kills. Boston, 2 LA-5s and the Typhoon. We've got the Panzer IVs coming up clutch. Really, really good. Panzer IVs trade really nice into T-34-85s because they aim very quickly, like the Panzer IV-H, that is. And they aim very quickly. And they are much cheaper. So whilst they do have like very limited armor and will lose at longer ranges, Panzer IVs at medium range against T-34-85s will do very well and can trade very well, particularly if you keep their veterancy up. So in this case, the 2 vet. But yeah, that's where I'll leave it for today. That is Boston's early on. Definitely kind of gave away that Vasiliev didn't have much on the ground. So do be careful, like over investing into artillery or aircraft in the early game, because it can leave you very vulnerable on the ground, and you can see that I did exploit that against Vasiliev as soon as those bombing strikes came through. But yeah, fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.